Talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make me. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Great evening, everyone. This is Dr. AJ, the wifepreneur, and I have tips to help you change the way you think, look, and feel about your marriage and sex. So many people, married couples, bounce around that issue of sex. There's about 500,000 couples that are in a sexless marriage, which means they're having sex. They haven't had sex in a year or above. And so, you know, it's one of the main causes. Sex is one of the main causes for divorce. Communication and finances. And people talk about those two, but they rarely want to talk about sex. They want to jump around the issue, skate around it, or not talk about it at all. And we are sexual creatures. God has given us that desire to be intimate and sexual with the one we love, with the one that He has given us, the one that we have committed our lives to, and it should be expressed to its highest level because it keeps you connected physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And so I want to help you embrace your sexuality, especially women, because we have been told not to indulge and to be able to express and to suppress our sexual desires for our husband. Well, really, period. Before our husband, even in marriage, to suppress it. If we desire to have sex, it should only be to have children. Other than that, it's okay for us not to want it. So our husbands, because we've been taught that, and men have been taught that, it's expected that we shouldn't have a high sex drive for them. We should want to have sex like they should. If it's normal if they ask for sex and we tell them turn them down majority of the time, that it's okay. But it's not okay. Everybody want to feel loved and connected. And that's one of the main ways to keep connected with your spouse. There's a lot of sexual infidelity. There's a lot of infidelity going on sexual infidelity. And one of the reasons because of lack of sex. Now, I don't know the reasons behind why they're not having sex, but it all boils down to the lack of. So I want to help you get that groove back. Get it back so your marriage could be happier and healthier. And you have one less thing to worry about. So I want to deal with tonight 7 sex tips for parents. I am a parent. My husband and I have been parents. We have a 3.5-year old and we have a 10-month old. And sometimes it's a struggle to get that intimacy time in. And so for our experience being married and having children, I came up with 7 tips that I know will help you guys as parents to get it together. Because you talking about what is a sex life? Our lives are busy with going to work. Then by the time you get home, you have to deal with the kids. You have to cook dinner, do homework, or like mine are in school, but you still have to spend time with them. By the time you spend time with them, get to bed. Then you clean the kitchen and get yourself ready to bed. You tired. You ain't even. I mean, no, especially for women, we ain't even trying to be touched. We ain't even thinking about being touched. We just want to go to bed, and then we end up, doing it over and over again, and it becomes habitual, and then the sex life is gone. And then you trying to figure out why you're mad and unhappy because you ain't had that time to get it in. And so I don't want you to feel neglected. I don't want your sex life to go down a drain and be neglected just because you're parents. Hey, that's how your kids got to that point or got here, is because you guys were intimate and having that great sexual experience. It's all about the experience. And so let me give you some tips that's going to help you parents to get it in. So let's talk about that. So the energy has to be right. You have to find time and the energy has to be right. So we're talking about positive energy. You have to have positive energy. So the first thing you have to do is you have to make priority. You have to intentionally make time to have sex. So you have to make it a priority. So you have to be like, look, I'm gonna get sex in. You sit down and talk about it. Communicate and say, hey, baby, we gonna get sex in at least twice every 2 weeks, or once every 2 weeks, or yeah, or 2 to 3 times a month. We're gonna get it in, but you have to be intentional about it, and you make your desires known. Nobody is Miss Cleo. Nobody is Dionne Warwick. You're not psychic ability. You have to tell and communicate, hey, this is how we're gonna get it done. We need that connection. We need to make it priority and we will make it happen. But it has to be intentional. You can't be passive aggressive about it. And then you gotta find a time that both works. So typically, to be honest with you, most couples, most parents, it's not gonna work during the week. Especially if your children at school age, it's not going to work during the week because you come home from your job, then you got to cook dinner. Either you and your husband cook dinner, then you getting your kids, you helping their homework, make sure their homework is right. By the time you finish that, then you getting them ready. You know they have dinner, you washing dishes, then you getting them ready for bed. Get yourself ready for bed, and you're tired. So you have to find a time that works. Now, my suggestion is, you have older children and ones that's in school, so it requires that requires more time than little kids under 5 because they're not in school and they take naps. That you schedule it, find time together, and your husband works a pretty decent job where he's home on the weekend. Then you fit it in on the weekend. Fit it on the weekend. If you know you have young children, my children are up like clockwork, 9 o'clock. Then y'all wake up and get it in before then. Get it in the morning. Morning sex is one of the best times to have sex with your spouse. Get it in the morning. Um, or get it in during the day. Say if your kids are taking a nap, get it in while they're taking a nap. But find a time that works. And if it works, then stick with it. Stick with that time, and then so you can be intentional and make sure that you guys are getting that connection moment together. Then you want to do some things. Number 3, you want to do some things that make you think about sex. So send a text. We're in a technology age. Everybody has a cell phone, so you want to send a text. I in a previous video that I did, I talked about a 7-day sexting challenge. So send them a sext. Hey, the teenagers do it. And they ain't supposed to be. So why don't we do it as married couples? And you can see that will drive your spouse. Wow, they'll be ready and waiting for you, and they'll be on, and you will have great sex from then on. Some type of sex. Sometimes I say sex. Tip number 4 as parents. So you don't have time, create a place, and I say take a shower together. That's the perfect time to have intimacy time together. You're both naked. You're both rubbing each other with that soap, and you're wet. Take that time to enjoy that time. You know what I mean? So take a shower together. That's a good tip to get the sex in. And you know what? I say intentionally. I'm challenging you. So intentionally take a shower together. I want to say twice a month. So those are 2 times that you can definitely get in the sex time. Number 5, Expect interruptions and don't put them off. So the the baby's crying, let the baby cry. If you know the baby, you're down for the night, the baby sleep, you gave a bottle, yeah, the diaper is dry, and they cry, let them cry. Let them cry. Let them cry. Like, don't let your children or other distractions interrupt your intimacy time. Now, if you know your child now, it's a different story if your child's sick, whatever. But you know the difference in the cries. So if it's a cry that I'm waking up and I want to be held, then you can. That's something that can be ignored, and you go back to loving on your spouse. All right, number 6. Don't wait till you get into bed to initiate sex. Initiate it beforehand. So sex can happen anywhere. So, maybe, as you're washing dishes or your spouse is washing dishes, maybe, kind of giving nice, they know the difference between just a regular hug and a sexual hug, or a sexual rub, or you can give them a nice little nibble on their ear, or a nice little whisper, or kiss them in the back of the neck. They know what that means. Most spouses, a majority of spouses know the difference between the different types of touches. So don't wait to initiate when it's time to go to bed. Initiate before you get in bed, so they already know when the bedroom door closed, it's on like popcorn. And women, this is the women. Women, initiate it. Women, don't be afraid to initiate that sex that you want to have sex with your husband. Don't be afraid. Be bold about it, because that's going to turn them on. That you're going to see what's getting into you. Show them that you boss. So show them that you can handle them. Then number 7, the most important thing you need to do, don't give up. So if it doesn't happen this time, you happened last night. So say, for example, say, you ain't talked about it, you initiated, you made time for it, and your spouse goes to sleep. Like you was waiting all day. You was waiting all day for it. Y'all and already talked about it. Y'all kind of got yourselves ready for it. By the end of the night, by the time you got the kids in bed and you was ready, your spouse or you was asleep. And it happens that way. But don't give up on it. Try again the next night. And you just be intentional. You have to be intentional. See, everything in life you have to be intentional. A lot of people think things should be passive and aggressive. Life is not like that. You are the captain of your ship. You get downloads each and every day from the higher power. And so you use those downloads, and even in your sexual experience with your spouse, you get downloads. So take those downloads and use it to your best ability so you can have the best sexual experience possible with your spouse. Remember, marriage is a ministry, and sex within that marriage is a ministry also. You want to minister to your spouse. I'm glad I was able to help you tonight. Please leave your feedback, positive and respectful feedback. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. All of my links are below. And also, if you really want to turn up your sexual experience with your spouse, then try sexual. I want you to try the sexual enhancement supplements. Now, this is not just for somebody that's suffering from any kind of sexual dysfunction. This is also for people who just want to turn it up to just intensify their sexual experience. So for women, it's love. For men, it's strike up. It's all natural. It helps with prostate health, not making any medical claims. It also can help with mood swings with women. It's something that will help make your marriage happier and healthier. Know that Dr. AJ prays for good fortune in everything that you do and for your good health, that your everyday affairs prospers as well as your soul. Marital bliss. Bye bye.